Starburns Audio.
Welcome to this Starburns Audio Show. We have so many great comedy podcasts to add to your playlist and keep you entertained. Just last week on Starburns Audio, Gilbert Gottfried and co-host Frank Santapadre talked to actress Amy Ryan on Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast. Hosts Keith King-Bay and Jesse Neal presented an episode about playing a pandemic-themed game, Siphon Filter, on the podcast New Player Has Joined. On Dumb People Town, Australian comedian Aaron Chen joins Daniel Van Kirk and the Sklar brothers to celebrate 3 stories about people doing dumb things, including a man asking people to loan him supplies to commit a robbery. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for a full list of our shows, featuring hosts like Chelsea Peretti, Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange, Dan Harmon, Kyle Ayers, and Miss Pat. Enjoy the show.
Starburns Audio.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town.
Population you.
Population Fitzsimmons. Gregory Fitzsimmons, welcome to the show.
Only my father would call me Gregory when I was in trouble. That was like
And you are in trouble.
You are in deep trouble, my
That's what I
friend.
Ready
figured.
to deal with it.
I always love seeing you, one of our just longest friends in this business. We've been
Yeah.
friends for 25 years
Yeah,
now.
right.
Doing stand-up, just always been such a fan of you. Every time we sit down and chat, it's like Dan, we're talking about going through the stories that we're going to talk about today because we believe the world's getting dumber. I don't know if have we
Yeah.
really gotten into this with you. Do you believe it's getting dumber, or do you think we're just,
Or is dumb just getting louder?
or do we know more about it?
I don't necessarily think it depends on how you rate dumb. In terms of like information that people are taking in, they're taking in more, but they're not checking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
there's
just
no
absorbing
cross-reference.
it.
Yes.
No, nobody's checking it. And so
Yep.
people are walking around with a profound sense of being in the know,
Right.
Which they're not.
I liken it to.
which they're not. Who is?
I liken it to like every McDonald's in every small town has a group of like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 old people that get together every morning and talk
Yeah.
about coffee.
Right.
And none of them have any information to back up any of the opinions or things they're saying
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
Millions of people are now in that discussion and then walking around the rest of the day being like, well, I heard.
Yeah, this is how Facebook works.
Right.
Well, like, what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and global warming scientists? You know,
Yeah.
It's just in the telling.
Yeah.
It's in that guy
That's
with
it.
the cup of coffee,
Yeah, yeah.
being emphatic about it
Yeah.
and backing up stats that are random.
Right.
And if you hear them from the right person, you
You're
go,
like, oh, yeah, it's
absolutely.
probably-
I mean, look at how many people stray from their family's politics.
Yeah.
If your parents were Republican, you're Republican. If your dad was a child molester, you're gonna do
drill us
it.
some children. It's in the family. Is that a political thing? Is that a political?
politics?
They're cute. Stop.
But you know what you just said is
Jesus.
they've studied this, that it's exactly true that Facebook makes everything look the same. So like in the 80s or 90s, if you saw an article on climate change, it would be in the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times or the Washington Post, and that would obviously carry a weight with it. And then you would get a pamphlet about how the world was going to end next week and that actually there's dragons breathing fire
right.
into us.
Yeah.
And the pamphlet would look so shitty, you'd be like, well, obviously I don't trust
That's
this
not
garbage.
The National
But now,
Enquirer is literally printed on toilet paper.
on Facebook, those conspiracy theories and
Are
those
all
factual
printed in the
researchers,
same
they
way.
all look the exact
It's-
same on your feed. So you're like, this looks just as legit as the real things that I'm reading. And so people just buy into it.
It's Travel and Leisure magazine. I don't know if you've ever read Travel and Leisure magazine.
Naturally.
Like, left through it. There are those things where you are like, is this an article or is this
an
ad?
advertisement?
I cannot tell.
That's great.
They're
I
really
cannot
good.
tell.
Yeah.
What's the
Boy, are they
article, what
really
is it?
touting the
This
Four
hot-
Seasons Hotel in Santa Barbara? Could this be
Is
Well,
that
that's why I only trust Skyway magazine.
Sky Mall?
Sky Mall magazine.
Skyway is good, too.
pretty-
I
that's
noticed-
about Minneapolis only. Sky, those like that system of like 2 floors above
Yeah.
the ground.
Right.
Artie's really the best.
Then I know
steaks in
Brad
the-
Garrett is still in the business, and I know that I
There
can
you
get a
go.
box lunch with a protein snack going west
and you
on
can
the third
also
Thursday. And
I can get a giant fist statue for my
I can
backyard.
Get, I can get a Bigfoot, a bronze Bigfoot for my backyard. That's
Also
actually
a speaker.
It's a speaker, and it's actually scaled 1.25 larger than the actual Bigfoot.
right.
right,
you
and
guys-
it's black power.
Didn't you guys have a bit about a dog kennel that was an end table?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was an old bit of ours. The
Yeah,
dog
I
kennel.
Really?
Yeah, in the Sky Mall magazine, there was a dog. There was an end table, like
That
a
was
coffee
also a
table, that
kennel.
was also a dog.
Just that
crate.
we imagine who is that for? Like what person, what couple where the wife is like, honey, I love this end table. I love the lines. It's actually the perfect height for us. Can you incarcerate a pet inside of it? That's my question because
I need my drink. I need my drink to be jostling
Yeah.
around
while an animal is crying.
Right.
I need to hear the sound of whimpering while I'm watching the football game.
That's right. So, Daniel, I know our friends send us these great stories, our fans, and we have Fitzsimmons here, the brilliance that is Greg Fitzsimmons. Let's jump into a story right away.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Jeez,
Ready?
you guys
Sent in
don't
by
fuck
Liz.
around.
We don't.
Don't
Let's
fuck
get
around.
to it.
Sent in by Liz Haggerty at Liz Haggerty.
Let's go.
Haggerty, that's
Loved her in Airplane. Did you?
unfortunate last name to go
Julie,
through.
remember
life with.
Julie Haggerty?
Oh, that's right.
From Airplane?
From
She
Airplane.
was so great.
Yeah.
She
She was
would like.
amazing.
She was at a couple of Aspen comedy festivals, and she was very
Brought her
nice.
little dog. She had that
Raisin.
Boston Terrier.
Do you know that I've not flown on a lot of private jets in my life, but on this occasion, I was flying to Idaho, and we were doing this celebrity golf tournament, and they had sunk to the bottom of the barrel of celebrities. So I'm on the plane,
Fitzsimmons?
It's like us.
and it's like a golf tournament. You've done these celebrity
We
golf
did one with
tournaments, right?
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
you
right.
and Kevin Meaney.
So I'm flying to one, and it's me and I think it was like Jackie Flynn and a couple other guys, and the guy from Airplane, Robert Hayes
Hayes,
was
yeah.
on the plane with us.
So you're like, if this thing goes down, we got someone that can fly it.
He got behind the wheel. He's a
Shut
licensed
up.
pilot,
No,
and he
he's
flew
not.
us to fucking Idaho.
No, he did
Stop.
not.
Yes, swear to God,
He was sweating a lot.
sweating a lot.
lot.
I hung myself during a story. So.
Okay, you
Thank
ready
God.
for this?
Yes.
Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Here's a headline: Georgia man steals sex device from ex-lover. It's like the scene in The Jerk. I'm
Yeah.
taking this with me,
and
And
that's
that's all
lamp.
I care about.
That end
This
table.
is lamp.
All right, thanks, Liz Haggerty at Liz
Well,
Haggerty.
listen, good. If I'm dating this girl, the last thing you want is an inherited sex toy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Get it out of the house.
Yeah, let him have it.
Yep.
He cares about it, and you're not using it anymore. Let him cry over it.
Who likes clutter?
Now, and you can actually, with science today, you can take that sex toy and you can clone her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
Just off the DNA.
Oh, you're making
Yeah.
it a full person.
He's saying you can clone the girlfriend just by the DNA, that she's
of-
left
So
on.
much DNA
that she's
on it.
left on the
Yes.
device.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it.
Okay, ready?
I
Here we
get
go.
it.
Yeah.
A brief and somewhat uneventful high-speed chase. That's a reporter who's like, fine,
Two
I'll
people
write about
driving.
it, but it
That's
doesn't
just
matter.
two people driving.
Yeah, exactly. A brief and somewhat uneventful high-speed chase across
Uneventful, except when the guy threw the dildo at the windshield of the police vehicle.
That's right.
and it perfectly suctions
It just
on the
so now you
non-business end.
got a dickmobile driving around.
It sped across a southern stretch of Putnam County 2 nights before Christmas and had salacious origins when a woman told police her ex-boyfriend broke in and stole several items, including a sex swing.
Oh,
Swing.
sex swing.
That's what the sex
So I know
device
it's
was.
2 nights before, and I forgive us because we're Jews. I
Comes
know
earlier
it's
and
2
earlier
nights
every
before
year.
Christmas, but is he the anti-Santa? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes in.
The
Anti-Santa. He goes in and takes stuff
fans.
out 2 nights before.
goes up the chimney.
He goes, which is
Another
which is
sex
another
toy.
sex toy. going up the chimney.
up the chimney.
She took the anal intruder up the chimney.
So it was a swing. I've never gotten a swing. That seems
So this-
jarring,
Isn't a
doesn't
swing just a hanging chair?
It's a what?
There's like stirrups.
But what is this? Oh, are you supposed to be having sex while you're on the
I think
swing?
it gives you some different leverage points.
Oh, all right.
You know, I like it hangs, and then there's stirrups, and then you can kind of.
Greg, if your
Work
wife
your
said,
angles.
honey, so you're almost an empty nester, right?
Yeah.
Almost an empty nester. Year away, 2 years?
Year left.
Year left.
Wow.
Kid's gone. Both kids are going to, let's say they're out, they're doing their own thing, and your wife comes home and says, honey, I bought us a sex swing. What's the next phrase to come out of your mouth?
Do you want to put AstroTurf down or sand? I'm in.
You're in.
Of course I'm
course
in.
you are.
Just
Of
don't
course.
kick your legs while you're on the swing.
That's right. We don't need to go any higher. That's
Nope.
right. We're high enough.
No need to pump the legs.
A woman who lives a few miles south of Eatonton, near Lake
Someone named
Sinclair.
that wrong.
I could have just said lives near Lake Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Told police she arrived home on the evening of December 23rd to find a man she had once lived with, a man who she said fathered 2 of her children. All of them?
So you
Just
know there's
2.
more.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's 2 of many.
He's the father of all your kids?
No,
2, I
2
said.
of mine.
Made
Number
off.
6 and number 7.
This is what he took. This is a.
No, number 5 and number
Number
7.
7.
Yeah.
It was in the
yeah.
little break in
This
there.
is where you know
Ancestry DNA will hurt you.
That's right.
this guy's heart hurt, and he's an idiot. He made off with more than a dozen pairs of high heels and other miscellaneous objects.
Is this funny, Greg? The notion of, because I watched that 23andMe. There's like the 23andMe where the guy's like, I went back to Ireland and the family was so happy to see me. They took me down to the local pub. Like, how many families in Ireland are literally like, are you serious? Get these people out of, take them down to the bar. Just tell them it's our family pub.
Yeah.
Just get rid of
Get
these
'em drunk
assholes.
and
Like,
roll their
do they
asses.
really want to have to carry you around
I
and
can
show
tell you firsthand, when I was 18 years old, I went to Ireland with my, you know me,
Yeah.
I answered DNA, 97% Irish. I was
right.
tested.
Yes.
All 4 grandparents are from there. So I go over there with my little address book, and I've got connections to, and I've written letters
Sure.
to all these relatives. The Gallaghers in Salt Hill, which is in Galway.
Yeah.
The O'Briens down in Skibbereen. I got relatives all of,
Yeah.
and I got a map with a fucking
Sure.
red marker.
Yeah.
Here's the places I'll be staying. Here's where I'm going to be taking in, showing local culture.
Staying
Staying.
with these people. Didn't check. If anyone was like, "Well, I'm staying with you. I'm your relative," like, get out of here.
outta
Are you
here.
joking? Go to a Airbnb.
No,
down
that's
the
what I
road.
got. Uncle Tim Harrington brings me down, and he goes, "Hey, it's nice to see you, son. How's Aunt Dolores? And then Pat, how's Aunt Pat's cousin Lori? Is she good? And the twins, have they gotten over that emphysema? Okay." And there's an Airbnb right around the corner. I'm like, these motherfuckers stayed at my house in New York. Not making that up.
No.
They stayed
They
in my
pushed
house.
you to a hotel.
And I got no fucking money. I'm 18 years old.
I just can't believe there was Airbnb back then.
They called it
B&B.
They called it
Bread
they
and
called it
breakfast.
B&B.
Just a
There was
B&B.
no air.
Yeah.
There was no air.
There was no air back then.
Yeah,
No air.
That's crazy. So you put them up, but they wouldn't return the
that's
favor.
correct. And
They're
that's
kinda
called
right.
the Irish. The Scottish get a bad name for being cheap. The Irish are right there with
They're
them.
right there with them.
Hey, starve some people for a century. It starts to change their personalities
It's
a
like
little
Get a
bit.
it's like
little
an
uptight.
Irish. Yeah, it's an Irish giver.
Yeah.
So he stole high heels.
a dozen pairs of high heels and other miscellaneous objects.
Is he going to wear them?
Those other objects, according to a Putnam Sheriff's report, included an infant activity play mat, a Spider-Man blanket, and a black $160 fetish fantasy adult sex aid spinning swing.
Now,
160. I wouldn't trust one that's only 160.
you think
If I'm
160
not
feels
spending
low?
300 on a swing,
You
I'm
don't
not
want a
getting in it.
discount swing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a shirt at Marshall's. Like one side's a little higher than
Right.
the other. It's
So you-
regularly.
So you have to adjust your
adjust.
shoulder. You know that old joke. The guy buys the suit from this tailor, and it's the guy's done it. No, the guy buys a suit and it's cheap, so it's all fucked up. One shoulder's higher than the other. One sleeve is longer than the other. One leg is short. So the guy is looking in the mirror. He makes all the adjustments. He raises one shoulder. He walks with his heel up in the air to even out the cuffs. He's walking the street, and somebody goes, "Hey, look at the poor man walking down the street like that. And the other one goes, yeah, but look how great his suit fits. Made it in Ireland.
See?
I just love that this guy showed up at this person's house and was like, I'm taking back something from everybody.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
took back things from the kid, a baby
Well,
playmat,
no, I think
a
the
spider
baby-
blanket, and the sex swing. Everybody's losing something.
The playmat
Yeah.
goes under the swing. I mean, it's what
Oh,
he was
God, I
talking
hope
about.
not. Yeah, your
AstroTurf
knees.
or sand.
So you don't want to scrape against the floor.
Authorities were promptly notified, and sheriff's deputies were soon on the lookout for a gray 2016 Dodge Challenger, which the alleged burglar, John David Donk Lewis, his nickname is Donk.
The Donk.
The Donk.
The Donk.
He's like not as cool or smart as Gronk.
Right.
The Donk.
The Donk.
Well,
He
it's
Donk.
if you're a cop and the APB goes out for
Donk.
a guy named Donk who's got sex toys in the car,
Right.
You're the first guy out of the station on that.
Yeah, like I can't wait
I'll
to
be
see
there.
this.
Right.
By the way,
Let me
Donk,
go and let me put this on Facebook.
Donk is what the sound it makes when the sex swing hits you on the head by accident. Got donked pretty hard on that one.
He donked him on that. No, but I like that he has a Dodge Challenger because that's been the challenge for his ex-girlfriend of all time is
Oh,
to
for
dodge
sure.
this guy, and she is not doing a great job.
Not
of
doing a
it.
good job dodging him.
The victim of the alleged theft said when she got home that night, the Dodge was parked outside with its trunk open. The woman said she spotted Donk Lewis carrying a container of her high-heeled shoes and other property. While the deputy was talking to the victim, another
Is he
woman...
whistling or talking to himself as he's putting it in the trunk?
Oh, for
Right.
sure. I told you
Gonna
you'd
put
miss me. I don't miss you.
No, I always love when people say
We're
the
going to
things.
miss our swing. No, take that, too.
You're
I always
helping.
love when people say the exact thing they're doing, like the exact thing they're doing. They don't need to say it.
Right.
Gotta put this here.
Yeah.
Gotta move this here.
I'm
Oh
taking
my
the
God!
sex swing.
That once you turn 75, you narrate your own life because you live alone.
Right.
You live alone.
You're like Samuel L. Jackson in Long
Yeah.
Kiss Goodnight. Remember, he makes songs up about what he's supposed to be
You
doing.
have to hear a voice.
Yes.
Even
Right.
if it's yours.
Yeah.
You just have to hear Gotta a voice
mix
to
this coffee.
confirm your
I'm
existence.
letting out the dog, then I'm going to go pee.
A little low on eggs. Gonna get those later.
It's so good. Turn off the radio. All right.
I feel like that's why Alexa was invented.
Right.
Oh, I know. So
Got to
you
get
can-
my mental health exam.
Miss Loretta.
Gotta stop talking out loud.
You guys all saw the Google ad, right? With Loretta, the saddest commercial in the Super Bowl.
Oh, the
Which one was that?
The guy who just keeps asking his Alexa to remind him things about his wife.
Yeah.
Remind me that she hated me.
I
Searching
can do
for
that.
that now.
Okay.
here's what I found.
While the deputy was talking to the victim, another woman at the house received a text message from Donk. You think he says, "Hey, it's Donk"? We know you're saved in my phone.
Yeah, he
Your
definitely
number
says
comes
donk
up.
out when
Right.
he leaves places.
Right. The message included a photograph of Lewis or Donk, who said who the report said, quote, was holding a black fabric object identified as the victim's sex swing. Lewis was also displaying the middle finger to the camera. So after he left with everything, he sent someone at the house a message of him just holding up the sex swing and giving
And a
the
middle
bird.
finger.
Yeah, he's
Come
hurt,
and get it.
right. He's hurt.
Sit on this.
He's hurt in that. What's the end game?
Right,
Now he's
exactly.
alone in his studio apartment.
Right.
He's got a box of sex toys.
Shoes,
And some high-heel shoes.
And
a
high-heel
baby mat,
shoes.
Spider-Man blanket.
A Spider-Man
Yeah.
blanket, a baby mat, and a sex swing.
Why 12 pair? I mean, how many do you need to lick at any given
12
time?
nights, 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
It is 2 days
Alright.
before.
It wasn't long before another deputy spotted the gray Dodge and took after it at speeds of up to 112 miles per hour.
That is a high-speed chase.
Well, that's-
Well,
it was
how many do you
uneventful.
think he'd need to
Exact-
lick?
That's a great point.
What's that?
How many do you think he'd need to, like, a person who licks high heels?
How many heels do you have to lick to get to the center of your heartbreak?
I mean,
1, 2, 3.
I think for some guys it's licking the heels because they want to be humiliated and dirty.
Right.
And for other guys it's the inside of the shoe because they want the
the smell.
the
of a
smell
foot.
and the sweat.
So if you're an inside shoe, you want how many pairs?
Many because you're going to lick out the sting.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're the underheel,
If you're
you
the-
could just do it
One
with
pair.
two. One pair.
pair
One
does it.
pair.
It's
You
so
know-
much easier to be humiliated.
Yeah, get some pedal pushers because then you really got work to do.
Get some clods.
It was raining, and the deputy quickly called off the chase.
By the way, if that would be your sex name, would be Dr. Scholl's, right? That's your safe word. It's your safe word.
Instead of Brock, he's Croc.
There you go.
Donk.
The Dodge
Oh,
was
Donk.
later found
Donk.
abandoned and
I
stuck.
got his name.
The Dodge was later found abandoned and stuck in some mud in a roadside ditch near Lake Sinclair. So he also crashed his own car.
That's not a metaphor for his life.
No,
I love that the cops were like, "We're
sounds
gonna."
like a bad Bruce Springsteen song.
Bitch on the side of the road. Exit 14. All right,
I just
sex
love that
swing
the
in
cops
the
are like,
trunk.
"We're gonna call off this chase. He's gonna work himself out.
Yeah,
we don't
get
need
it.
to be there."
No, he's
Yeah.
sinking too low. We can't.
Inside the car was a beige tote bag with 15 or so pairs of women's high heel shoes. In the trunk, deputies found the sex swing. Quote, "He just had to have it," apparently, Sheriff Howard Stills said later of the swing. "It was a device near and dear to his heart." Lewis later turned up, that's Donk, later turned up December 27th at a house in neighboring Baldwin County. When Putnam Sheriff's investigators got there to arrest Lewis on felony burglary and eluding charges, Lewis's ex-girlfriend was in the driveway. These two can't get away from each other.
Jesus.
They're gonna
Like,
have
I know
another
where you
kid.
are.
Maybe she's got his Find My Phone app. And
Right.
it's like, I know where it is.
No, she
Find
has
My
to
burner.
find my sex swing out.
Find my
swing.
shoe app.
Yeah. When she had come to get a vehicle that belonged to Donk but didn't know where he was, she said she had come to get a vehicle that belonged to Donk but didn't know where he was. An investigator spotted Lewis hiding nearby. He's not even good at hide and go seek. Donk.
Wait, now she's getting his car,
She says,
and
"I'm
he's
here."
getting a sex swing.
Yeah.
That's not a great trade.
Well, Donk's
Depends.
not great.
He's not a smart guy.
Donk said he had been on the run from
How
police
much-
a few days earlier
How
because
many
he was
times
scared.
did Donk say, like, to friends of his, "I'll just swing by"? Like, how? Like, I was thinking about it. Like, we know you got the swing.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
okay, I'll swing by around 8.
You know,
Yeah.
Debbie and I are swingers.
Really?
Who with?
You guys-
Each other.
Each other.
Yeah, we
Same
swing.
swing.
Right.
Same swing.
Yeah.
He said he ran because he, quote, because he was scared and he did not have a driver's license, which also explains the going into the ditch. Donk
not good.
had previously
I
denied.
think the problem is she bought the sex swing because she wanted to spice things up, and he didn't get it, and he just kept pushing her from behind,
Yeah.
back and forth,
That's right. Higher.
singing.
yeah,
This old man.
you don't seem to be
There's
enjoying
nothing
it, Deb.
Less sexy than that.
He had previously denied breaking into the woman's residence. An investigative report said he claimed to be living there with her. According to the report, Donk then begged her to drop the burglary charges and said, "Baby, please, that carries a lot of prison time." Donk went on to the report.
does.
He then dropped to his knees and begged her again. The charges were not dropped. So she was like, "No, you took my swing."
I think
Go
he
to
was on
jail.
his knees because he just wanted to get close to those shoes.
Shoes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a shoe issue.
Yeah.
To push her from behind and just give her a swing on the swing. You don't say, "Who's your
That's
daddy?"
not
You
what
say, "Where's your daddy?"
That's right. That's where's your daddy.
Where's your daddy? Do you need him right now?
Lewis was released released Tuesday from the Putnam County Jail on a $12,000 bond. We'll get out of here in this. How old do you guys think a guy named Donk is?
But
Here's what you know
Donk-a-donk.
about him. He doesn't have a driver's license. But he drives a Dodge Challenger. He wanted
There's
to
a
steal
kid involved,
shoes.
right? Did they ever
Two
come out and
kids.
say
Two
two kids?
kids.
Did they say the ages of the
They
no.
didn't say the ages of the kids.
But he stole a
doesn't
Spider-Man blanket, maybe that belonged to one kid, and a
him.
baby mat, which might have belonged to the other kid.
And a sex swing.
And
Donk's 34.
34 years old. From
Jay?
Greg Fitzsimmons.
44.
44.
29.
29. Okay, so Randy said 29. 44, you said, Jason,
34.
right? And 34. One of you is exactly right.
All right. Now we get to play Who's Exactly Right.
So, Greg, who do you think is right? Your guess.
Obviously, I think I'm right.
Okay, 34. Jay?
I have no second thoughts. I am 100% right.
I am
Okay.
100% right.
Okay, Townies, we will leave the first story on this because the Donk is 29 years
No!
old.
Oh my God. He's lived a life though.
Yeah.
These
looks
are like
44.
29 in
Some
meth
people
years.
pack it in.
29 in meth years. He looks
With the help of a
48.
swing,
Right.
some people pack it in.
That's right. The swing. He swinged on. He swinged on through the other side. Swung on through.
Wow.
All right, there you go. First story down in the books. Greg Fitzsimmons is with us. Don't go anywhere, guys. More dumb right after this.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
I love my quip.
Oh, my
I love
Lord.
my quip.
My
You just went to the dentist and your dental cleanup just took so short.
took 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it normally takes 40 minutes. Why? Because I'm using my quip. I'm using the full brushing. It's so easy. Randy and I are about to, we're traveling. When we go on the road, the fact that you just put the little, it has like a little carrying case
we
that
never
screws
used to-
onto the top of the stand that you take out. It takes up no room. It is so. They send you new brush
There
heads
is no
every 3
stand.
months.
You don't have to bring a giant base with you, which is
that you
what
plug into the wall that makes your Dob kit 12,000 pounds. Here's the thing. These guys have figured out how to create a well-designed toothbrush.
Well,
that-
the
that
electric
dent-
sensors are so good. Sonic vibrations.
Every
with the
30
built-in-
seconds, the vibration reminds you. It pauses for a second, reminds you to switch to a different part of the mouth. After 2 minutes, it shuts off. It gives you a very thorough brushing. They have great toothpaste.
Oh, the
I'm
new
in love with the
flavor of toothpaste that I just got because
The
we're
white
regular.
and the white one,
So
it's the best.
good. It's so
And
good.
look,
Floss.
floss. They send floss. They send
New heads every 3 months.
Every
You
3
can
months, they
switch
send
around.
you a new battery and
Yeah.
they send you a new brush head. Why? I was brushing with the same old, crusty, like soft brush head. Wasn't doing the job. Wasn't really brushing my teeth on my old electric toothbrush. Now I just know when a new one comes in the mail, pop off the old one. It's so easy. Put the new one on, and I'm brushing with what feels like a brand new toothbrush every time. It's made me want to brush my teeth.
And
my
if you have
have
kids,
them.
that's the thing. If your kids who don't want to brush their teeth, you get them onto the Quip and they do it. And
My kids
actually
do
they're-
it now. They do a full brushing, and now I'm really happy. I'm like, I feel safe and comfortable that their teeth are taken care of.
If you go to getquip.com/DPT right now, you get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/DPT. That's GETQUIP.com/DPT. Quip, the good habits company.
Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying connected and productive? And then there's your newest coworker, the cat. Well, your friends at Trello have been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's Collaborative Suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Trello keeps everyone organized and on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Teams of all shapes and sizes at companies like Google, Fender, Costco, and likely your favorite neighborhood coffee shop all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We got Greg Fitzsimmons with us. Follow him on where should they follow you? Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, it's Greg Fitz Show on Twitter, and then Instagram is just my name.
Greg Fitzsimmons and the podcast, your podcast.
Fitz Dog Radio.
Fitz Dog
Also, I have
Radio.
another podcast with, Allison Rosen.
Yes.
She and I have a podcast called Childish where we talk about parenting. And
Love it.
I've got teenagers, she's got babies, and so it's about me teaching
Giving her I'm here on the road. You're down here. I'm gonna tell you where you got to come.
and she's not buying it.
Oh, I love it.
Why is she not buying it? Does she not
I love her
trust you?
podcast. We do.
I have a different style than her.
You are definitely a different
You
style.
like to hit
I
them.
believe kids figure it out. You
You're
gotta
such an
I
old
play
school
a
guy.
zone defense. She goes man to man.
She goes man to man.
Yeah.
She's on a cover too, and you kind of rely. You like this is my
She might
quadrant.
even trap. She
You're
might
running
even
a-
run a
you're
trap.
running
She's
a prevent.
trapping. I'm protecting the end
The
zone.
rim. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's like nothing deep. I don't care if you guys can mess up on. We'll take some ticky tack stuff, but no, I don't want anything getting behind.
Right,
me.
because
Greg's
they-
a
those-
bend don't break guy.
Yeah, and they're going to beat me off the line.
Yeah.
I'm giving them some space.
You're going to give them yards. They're going to get
Yeah.
theirs.
Right.
You like to bump and run your kids, don't you?
Right. And they'll pick up a first once in a while.
That's right. But hey, you're just.
Look, as long as you keep them in the middle of the field.
Does
you're
your
fine.
wife subscribe to the bend don't break defense or no?
No, I think the key is with parenting is one needs to be man to man and one needs to be zone.
The other one can just be. But
Because then I don't even find out about shit like
That's good.
homework.
Yeah.
She's dealing with that. I'm dealing with
The bigger thing.
JoJo ran away. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm in the car.
JoJo is a kid.
JoJo's 16.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm kidding. She'll run away.
But that's when you come in.
But I'm gonna go when something
When
big
JoJo
happens.
runs away, that's
You're
yours.
there.
I'm
You're-
gonna punch
I'm on
in.
it. I'm on it.
As soon as it happens.
I'm on it.
Pregnant. Got it.
Got it. We'll
I got the
fix it.
$500. We're all set.
didn't
Gotta
clean
put aside.
their room.
Yeah.
That's not me.
That's not me.
Some kids
not
have a
me.
college savings account.
Yep.
Not
Right.
me.
Set the car on fire. I'll
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
That's right. Police
Not a bad
issues,
strategy.
stolen sex swing. I'm there.
How many years are you into Fitz Dog Radio? 10?
11.
We've done it twice.
850 episodes.
We've done a
done it
couple.
a few
You've only
times.
done it twice?
No, we've done it
it's
like
not like
four
four
No,
times.
at least.
The beauty.
You guys are due, by the way. It's
Still
been a
do it
while.
out by
We're coming back.
the airport.
You know what I can do? We can do it by the airport.
We could do it while we
And
play
then go
golf.
play
That
golf.
was so fun. That
Let's
one
do
time we
that.
did it. That
Let's
was
do that.
so fun.
Perfect.
Let's do it, and then we'll go to Penn.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Just a treat. First of all, you're one of the first people who got into podcasting who told us you guys need to do it. I just remember this. You and Doug Benson and Hardwick and maybe one other person.
Marin.
I don't think Marin was doing it yet.
No?
You were before him. And
Yeah.
I think you just were like, yeah, this is the deal. I do it. It's like my own radio show. I'm cultivating my audience, and then you can make money on it. We were like, seriously?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, you will love it. You will be freed by it. You will write material out of it. You will just... And
You
And it's
gave a
fun to
great-
sit down with friends and spend an
best.
hour.
The best.
I mean, how often? Nobody's on their phone.
No. Right.
We're not in the back of a comedy club where you're getting interrupted every 30 seconds.
That's it.
This is us doing the thing that we love to do more than anything else, which is create comedy.
Right.
Like it's how can we make each other laugh? That's
Yes.
all. That's all this is for an hour.
Yeah.
And then you like get real for a while, and you're talking about real shit, and then it goes back to being funny.
Should we do
That's
another,
your podcast.
Should we do another story?
Yeah, for sure. I want to know, do you have any dates coming up?
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
can people? Yeah.
I'm going to be coming out to Austin, Texas. You know, Cap City Comedy
Love
The
Club.
best.
It's the best.
Many,
best.
When are you
many
there?
comedians
Are
call
you there
it
in
their.
March?
I'm going to be there in.
I think I'm like the weekend before or after you.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
I'm there February Valentine's weekend.
Okay, I'm a
Gotta
month
tell the
after.
wife about that. February 13th
Yeah.
through 15th, and then I'm coming out to Plano, Texas, February 27th
Hyenas.
through 29 at Hyenas.
Great club.
And then also gigs coming up in I don't know, Phoenix,
Yep.
Great.
Stand up live.
Cleveland.
We're going to
Wait,
Hilarities this
Oh
weekend.
no, Hilarities just got canceled. Boston.
Are you going to be in Phoenix during spring training?
Yeah, but that doesn't
You don't give a
doesn't
shit.
concern me.
I love it. I love it.
Wasn't there a big trade to the Dodgers yesterday?
Yeah,
Mookie
Mookie Betts.
Betts. Mookie Betts.
You're
Guy from Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he huge?
He's probably one
He
of the
was like an
better players.
MVP candidate, and for him to come to the Dodgers was like maybe that piece. And they got David Price, who's a left-handed pitcher. Our fans who are non
Tuning out right
But
now.
here's what they'll
Right,
tune into.
okay.
Sklarz, tell them where you're going to be. Come on.
Oh, okay. So we are going to be. We got some big shows coming up. We're going to be at Comedy Club on State Street in Madison, Wisconsin. Who doesn't love that one? We'll be there March 12th through the 14th. Then we do live Dumb People Town. This show live, 3 nights. First night is in Minneapolis
Yep.
at the Cedar Cultural Center, which is going to be amazing. We've got the guys from Mystery Science Theater are our guests.
Wow.
Musical guest, I think the Cactus Blossoms.
which will be amazing.
Are they all local?
Yeah,
Yeah, local.
they're all local in Minneapolis. St. Louis is the next night. We're trying to get Dave
it
Holmes.
looks like it's happening. We got
Dave Holmes,
is
the
gonna
great
join us
Dave
for that.
Holmes is going to
Yes.
join us, a St. Louis native.
And then another St. Louis personality, and we're looking for a musical act there. And then Milwaukee is the next night at Turner,
Hall. So Delmar Hall and Turner Hall. These are big. These are like 500 seat venues that we got to fill these things. So get your
Damn.
tickets now. And then we're in Rochester, New York at Comedy at the Carlson, which is a great. I love the guy who
that's
owns that
fun.
club. That
and the
dude's
room
best.
is called the Kevin Meaney
Oh,
Showroom.
yeah, that's
really?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
I love
Yeah.
that room and I love that guy. So we'll be there April 2nd through the 4th. And then Moon Tower Comedy Festival, the 3 of us will be there, all of us, and we're going to do the podcast up there and tag it and all these other great shows.
Unbelievable.
And then we've never been to Burlington, Vermont to that comedy club.
You'll
Our
love it.
first time going up there
The
is
owners are grassroots comedy.
Great.
They loved comedy, so they got a little space.
I love
They
it.
promote it, and the community supports the room. It's
So
great.
we'll be up there
I
May like around the
Don't
14th,
do Bernie
15th.
jokes.
We won't do any Bernie jokes.
Just a lot of Ben and Jerry jokes.
That's awesome. And then we have our live show at Largo on the 24th.
Yes.
With Paul F. Tompkins and Will Arnett and Colin Hay.
How about that? How about that for a lineup?
Listen to
Yeah,
that.
that'll be
That's
great.
Amazing the diversity you guys are bringing to podcasting.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Appreciate it.
And then
Thank you
you
for
can come see me on the 15th in Boca Raton, and you can also see me in Chicago on the 27th of February. I'll be a guest on the Daily Zeitgeist. And then in March, I'll be in Austin, Texas, headlining Cap
Boca
City.
Raton. What are you playing? A retirement home?
There's like some comedy club down there.
Really?
They hit me up like 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I'd never heard of it. They said, "You want to come down and do a show?" I said,
All right.
Why not?
I'll go to
I
the
know how
rat's
it is.
mouth.
I'll go to the mouth of the
One
rat.
night, 2 shows.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right,
Yeah.
Dan, let's get in the
Boca
story.
Raton. All right, let's
Here we
see.
go. Ready?
Yes.
Sent in by James Berkerfeld at Sideshow James. Thanks, buddy, for
I just
sending
bought some Birkerfelds.
this.
They're really comfortable sandals.
in.
Open toed.
Open to Berkerfelds.
A man tries to prove to his mom he's independent. And that's in quotes because that's what he said. A man tried to rob a convenience store to prove to his mother that he's independent, the Marion County Sheriff's Office said in a news release.
Son, you got a panty on your head.
I love that.
Make something of yourself.
I know,
If you're
but
going to do something in
recidivism.
this world, don't just talk about doing
Remember,
it.
we
Do
did
it.
the story.
I give him credit.
We
He
did the
actually
story
went
about
on
the
and did
guy
some-
who wanted to prove to his son he was cool, so he stole cars but
Yeah.
moved him 2 blocks.
2 blocks
and then just
over to
left him
prove
there.
that he was a cool
Because he
dad.
wanted his rebellious
You got
son
a
to think he
teenage
was
son.
cool.
You know what that is. You
Yeah.
want to be cool.
No, but
It's like a cat bringing a mouse to the front porch.
Thank
right.
you. Let me
Look
show
what
you
I
what I
did.
can
Yeah,
do.
Yeah.
look what I can do.
Wait, so this is not the dad. This is the kid.
This is the kid who's trying
wants
to show
prove
his
his
mom
that he's independent.
I can do
On
things on my-
some level, I look at this story and I say, at least he wasn't on his phone. He was out doing something.
Yeah.
Got some exercise.
The great thing about robbing a convenience store is you grab a couple things while you're there.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
just the money.
No.
You
Yeah.
get,
It's
You get a
literally
Mars
convenient.
bar.
You get some
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
It's a
It's convenient.
convenient place.
that's right. Some rolling papers and whatever change they're raising for leukemia. That's yours.
March of Dimes.
You got to do that before you rob the place. You can't rob and then be like, let me grab a couple
Let me
of
get
things.
some of these.
No.
Yeah. Hassan Campbell tried to rob a Circle K on West Highway 326, but the clerk refused to give him money, and a customer confronted Campbell. So he can't be independent. I love that he was
didn't
like,
do
this
it.
is my big time. And the person was like,
Nah.
no,
No.
I'm
gonna do
robbing you. No, you're
Nope.
not. Not me.
I just love the guy. This motherfucker's making minimum wage, and he's putting his life on the line for a cash register that's probably got $85 because people use credit cards.
Right. Take it.
And by the way, there's always a moment, and if you've ever worked at a place like this, we worked at gas stations when we were in high
So
school.
did I.
Like, so there's always like a place, like the drop spot,
right.
where like it's in the floor, and you take like $300-$400 or whatever you got, drop it in an envelope down the thing, and it's gone.
That's called the kill the cashier box.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It is one of those things where you say to yourself, I don't even care if this is an episode of Undercover Boss and you're my boss.
Yeah.
Take all of it.
Take it all.
But I don't feel like
It's
getting
not
up,
worth
so
it
you go
at
down.
all to me.
Yeah.
So this guy or this person, I'm assuming, is it a man? I don't know.
Yeah, Hassan Campbell, yes.
No, but the guy who was
who's
working
behind the
there,
It doesn't say, it just said cashier.
cashier, man
The
or
clerk-
woman, was
the
like,
clerk
nope,
refused to give him
nope.
money.
You're not getting it.
Maybe he wasn't that confident in his asking for it.
Yeah, well, he's not independent.
Can I rob? Like,
That's true.
can I rob you? Like that sentence can't be phrased in the form of a question.
Yes.
You got to make that a
Is it
statement.
cool if I rob
It's not
you?
Jeopardy.
No.
If your voice goes higher at the
At
end
the
of
end,
the
you're
sentence,
done. You don't get to rob them.
you're not
rob
getting the
you?
money.
Yeah. Is it cool if I have your money?
I'm gonna rob you.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the till?
You want some?
Where's the
What
drop
I love
box?
too is he was so bad at it that another customer was also so unafraid of him, was like, get out of here.
No.
Like he was confronted by another, like he
Nah.
can't get anyone to believe in him. His mom doesn't believe in him.
Yeah.
A clerk he's trying to rob, just a random customer who wanted like some fucking Winston's.
He's like a squirrel in New York when you open a sandwich on a park bench. Like you can feel it creeping closer, and then someone, hey, come
Yeah,
on,
he's shooing.
Get out of here.
get out.
Get out of here.
Get out of
No,
here.
He was shooed.
he was shoot out of there.
Campbell and the customer briefly fought. That's how little the customer thought. I'll just fight you. I'll fight you. I don't even work here.
Hey man, I was looking for something to do tonight.
Right.
Like, rolls
Jeez.
the cigarettes in his sleeve.
What
Right.
state is this?
This is Marion County Sheriff's. It's sent in us by WFTV.com. I don't know.
It
Wherever
sounds
Marion County-
like it's an Oklahoma kind of state where they
does.
don't fuck with criminals. They just don't allow it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like we are. It's like a citizen's arrest is something.
Yeah, it's like it's the 70s again. Remember in the 70s there was crime?
Yeah.
There's no fucking crime anymore.
No.
Nobody gets robbed. When's the last time you heard about somebody getting mugged? And so nowadays if you do get mugged, it's charming.
Yeah.
You give them the money.
So this is like a good mugging.
Yeah.
Like LA Story. My name is Bob. I'll be your mugger for the
Favorite mugger.
evening. Hi, Bob. How are you?
No, it's like, can I just? I need these cards and these IDs. Can I just? What are you? What are you on?
I'm just gonna Venmo you.
Let me Venmo
whatever
you
need.
everything that's in my wallet, and then I'll just have this in case
But I
need it.
need to keep this.
Hassan Campbell and the
get it?
customer.
You know
It
what? I
should
don't
be in
have
your
enough.
account. Look in your account right now, and then
Look in
there's
your
that.
I feel bad. I'm a little low now. Let's do a Kickstarter.
Let's do a
yeah,
Kickstarter. Then let's shoot something so that's the video that tells people what we're doing here, and then we'll put that in.
And put it
but
on
do you-
YouTube. Maybe we'll get enough hits where we can get some advertising money.
Putting the
on
crime
YouTube.
on Patreon.
Campbell. Hey guys, we're gonna do a bonus crime every single week.
Every
That's part
week
of my
we're gonna do a
Patreon.
little petty theft.
And
for
thank
those.
you for all the Patreon
Right.
people who supported this crime.
And we've got snapshots. We'll sign them and send them out.
For
that's,
sure.
That's part of the Patreon.
That's a
wall.
level. Campbell and the customer briefly fought, then Campbell was able to flee before deputies arrived. Deputies caught up with Campbell on I-75 South and pursued his vehicle into Sumter County. The Sumter County
You
Sheriff's
never want to
Office.
flee.
No.
No.
Fleeing is never. It's usually like, you've got a goat and a chair,
Mm-hmm.
and your family's walking home and they see you run by, and you're like, oh, he's fleeing.
Yeah,
Right.
He's
Let's just follow him. You don't ask questions.
Your
was the
hands have to be
I mean,
over your head.
What
Yes.
was it? Attell's joke is like you see a clown. With
No,
his,
you see a one-legged man
With his pants down.
dick out, running down the street. You run with that man because there is some scary shit coming behind him.
You run with him.
Just a man. He said, just a man running with his dick out, like not, just out. Like
Run with that man.
You sure that's not a Louis joke?
I don't know. I thought it was.
The Sumter County
Yes.
Sheriff's Office used stop sticks to disable Campbell's car, and he was arrested. There's no independence for this guy. Metaphorically and literally, they have now stopped him.
Mom, look at me.
During a post Miranda,
Not only did he not bring any money home, he's
Right.
going to jail, and when he gets out, he's got 4 flat tires.
And he's got to live with his mom.
during a post Miranda interview with Detective Lytle, Campbell asked for an attorney and then spontaneously uttered that that's Detective Lytle, was being a dick and he was trying to meet up with a relative to go to a strip club. No,
Yeah.
you weren't.
Guys.
You're a big man. You're a big man, Hassan. Campbell then told the detective that his motive was to try and prove to his mother that he was independent and could take care of himself.
Which relative do you bring to a strip club? Not your niece.
No, that's an uncle.
That's an uncle.
That's an uncle only
Or a
you have
gr-
a relationship with. Your mom and him are not speaking.
Yeah, and he's on a first name basis with all the dancers.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a strange uncle.
Crystal, I brought in my nephew.
Oh, this is the nephew you were telling me about.
I've heard so much about you.
Go get Desiree
I
and
want you to
Cheyenne.
talk to these guys.
Cheyenne, come here. It's him. Meet him.
Oh, he's got it. His pecker's just like yours.
No. You don't
She
have to do
comes
a
in
dance
and
room. Just meet him.
She comes in and asks really specific questions about his life. What are you
Your mom's still riding you, Hassan? What?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think you're independent. I've
Right.
only met you for.
Did they
I mean,
fill
look-
in those potholes in front of your house? What?
You know, philosophy's interesting, but you shouldn't major in it.
Campbell was charged with attempted robbery, battery, and fleeing and eluding. He was being held in the Sumter County Jail. Just because I think it's fun. I wasn't going to do this. How old do you guys think this guy is? How old is a man who wants to prove to his mother he is independent?
I know how old I want him to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, 18 would obviously be like, that's prime.
that's
man.
the under over.
Yeah.
But if he's like 48,
The Vegas odds. Yeah,
Then
that's
it's
what I'm
hilarious.
saying. If he's like really old and
Right.
then he's got something to prove.
right.
Or like if it's Psycho.
You don't have to
and
go
he
first,
is
Greg.
his
You
mom.
I
can
go
them-
last this time because
Okay,
I went
Jay,
first
go ahead.
last time.
I'm saying it's Psycho and he is his mom and they both run the hotel.
Same person. Okay. Fine.
I'm going to guess crazy high just because.
Okay.
I'm going to say 56.
56 years
Jesus.
old.
56.
Wow.
I'm going to say 31.
31 years old
Still old.
from Randy Sklar.
I'm going 23.
23 years old.
And me.
Okay, so 23 from Greg. and
56.
And then
31.
I know, 31. Okay. One of you
No.
Oh, no.
is exactly
Oh, shit!
Okay.
And you couldn't have a bigger range
I
of
know, it's like-
guesses.
Now
Is it?
we get to play the game.
Who do you think is exactly right?
I think Randy's in second place.
Okay.
I think Jay is out of the ballpark. I got to go me.
Okay, Greg says himself.
I'm gonna go with Greg.
Okay.
I think he's right.
I'm going to go with me.
Okay. Tony's play along wherever you are before we get to a very weird third story. Because Hassan Campbell is 23 years old.
Look at the Irish. Yeah, baby.
At least I had the ability to change course and admit that I was
I
wrong
know.
and go
I
in the
stuck
right
in it.
direction.
All right, 23 years old, 23. All right, there you go. That's story number 2 down in the books. Dan, give us just a little teaser of what we can hear.
Probably the strangest assault we've had on this show.
Oh, man, I can't
good.
wait. It's Dumb People Town. Fitz Dog. Greg Fitzsimmons is with us. Don't go anywhere.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We got Fitzdog of Fitzdog Radio. It's really one of the
And the
greatest
other
podcasts.
podcast that you do with Allison Rosen.
Childish.
Where you
Childish.
talk about childcare. It's just what it is to be a parent. Your kids are older. Her kids are younger.
And also, it's not just for people with kids. If you were a kid,
Yeah,
you had parents. People, we have half our listeners don't have kids.
right. And there are people who are like, my parents treated me this way.
Right.
Yep, I love it.
Because parenting is a hot button issue all the way around. Like anything from were you vaccinated? now we're into a serious discussion.
Well, that's what it is, because we are in a seismic shift in parenting right now, where we have been for 3 generations. It went from kids are meant to be seen and not heard to heard but then hit. And now in this generation,
like,
the argument is like, are you shadow parenting? Are you not giving them enough drive? Are you coddling them?
Are you listening to them too closely?
Exactly.
Are
That's what I
you
was gonna
giving
say
them too much value?
From the second story, because that's your guys' hope, right? You want your kids to be independent.
Yes, that's the only. So your kids are about and off out into the world.
Yeah.
Don't you want them to be able to stand on their own and do their own thing?
And be hungry and excited to accomplish things.
Right.
Yes.
Which they're not going to be if they're sitting there watching Netflix. Netflix feels great. And if you let them just do that, that's what they're going to do. But if you say, no, shut that off, there's some fucking crayons in the back, crayons, paintbrushes.
Whatever.
Go do something artistic.
Yep.
Go play a sport. Get the fuck out of the house. That's when they're going to get excited about things in life.
Yes.
That's a great point.
Agreed.
And curse as much as you can when you're talking to
Yes.
what I'm assuming
2-year-old,
that was a 3-year-old at that point. All right, Dan, let's get into this.
Here we
last
go.
story.
Ready?
Yes.
The headline
Oh
is
boy, here we go.
German woman on train attacks worker in strangest way. Sent in by Josette Covington at Pure Josie.
What a surprise that a German would attack someone.
Especially on a train.
German on a train. I know.
They have bad
I'm
history
already
of trains.
nervous. I'm
Already, I
nervous.
Yeah.
don't like it.
Police described the incident on the tram as unusual behavior. The woman is now being investigated for assault. A woman traveling without a ticket on a local tram line is being investigated for assault for spraying a ticket controller with her breast milk, German police said Monday.
That. So I don't know if your
Did
wife breastfed.
Yeah, for 2
that.
years.
So
22 years.
some people can just make just gallons of it. Some women just, you make it, you freeze it, you've got it, you have it forever. It's probably, for those who could just make it very easily, there's
Sure.
probably still bags of it sitting in your outside fridge.
Right.
For other people, it's much more difficult. For whatever reason, maybe you're older, it's not, whatever reason you can't produce it. For my wife, it was harder to do. And I just remember there was a time where she pumped the milk, like used the pump system to pump it, handed it to me to hold the bottle. The top wasn't screwed on.
Oh,
and
no.
like an idiot in almost like a Harpo Marx moment, I tripped on the rug and it just like she had worked for an hour to make
And
this.
just watching it.
And just watching it go, and I just looked up at the imaginary crane shot above me, and I was like, "No!"
Yeah. And the cat was like, yeah!
The
I'll tell
dog
you.
has licked that spot ever
Wait, but
since.
is she squirting it from her breast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man!
Well, my wife, 2 fucking years, she breastfed my son, which is, they say
she did when he was 15 and 16.
15 and
Yeah,
16.
that
That's
was
the
it.
weird thing.
Start late.
Is well, because oat milk was big, and he
Yeah.
was like, "I'm not feeling oat milk."
That's right.
She goes, "Hold on a second." And so she breastfed for 2 years, which people say like, "Well, it's really good for their immune system." It was like, I think at this point we can safely dunk them in a bucket of AIDS. Let's move on.
So you're not worried about the.
But has he been? Is he a kid who got sick a
The
lot?
coronavirus.
Did you? This is
Well, we
how,
live on the west side of LA, so I don't think the coronavirus.
This is
coming.
how afraid I am of the
I think the
coronavirus.
IPA virus is coming.
I was going to say this is how afraid I am of the coronavirus. I won't even drink a Pacifico.
There it is.
It's race to the same punchline time.
But we both got there.
The woman was traveling without a ticket. The woman was with a male companion in the western city of Gelsenkirchen on Saturday when a ticket inspector requested their identification and told them to get off at the next stop.
In German, she said, "I got your ID right here."
During the identification process, the woman exposed her breast
Yep.
and sprayed the ticket controller with breast milk.
Which, by the way, if that happens to you, you can't get mad at that. You
Now,
have to
That's
say
not assault.
that is not assault in any way, shape, or
Come
form.
on. First of all, that's a lot of confidence to know that
you
that
can
was
block
going to work.
it very easily.
Yeah.
What are you like? You can't. And also, like, does she
Take
have
2
that-
steps back.
It's not an interballistic missile.
How's
it's
it work?
like
You're talking
Yeah.
to the woman and you're like, "What are you doing? Put your tit away. Hey, get away
Hey,
from me.
hey.
What do you stop?" Yeah, there's a build up to that, right? There's not a fast tit out squeeze.
this
Plus,
is
that's a good-looking tit. A tit that's producing milk is at its peak. It's as big as it's ever going to get. The nipple is red. It's out there. It's erect.
It's like
Take
a
it in.
water balloon that's perfectly filled to the right.
Yes.
But this to me is the natural version of the "smell my flower." old gag that every clown. Oh, that's
Kinda
look at that
hack.
flower on your.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he had to lean into it a little bit.
I don't know. Does she know her range? She's had to have done this before, right? How would you know that was going to work and you weren't going to get a little dribble?
Is this the type of
But
gal
yeah.
that would show up at like a carnival and like be able to shoot a balloon down with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's
Like,
winning the horse race?
She's
thing?
winning the
Yeah,
horse
right.
race. Just milk on
No,
that.
she's like filling a balloon.
Yeah.
I brought my own. The surprise mother's milk diversion allowed the man traveling with her to flee the scene. So it was a
lot of
distraction
fleeing
tactic.
to
This-
that.
A
but-
lot
but
of
by the
fleeing to- I
way,
didn't
that's
think
an
about that.
unbelievable stream of breast milk that this woman is able to
That he's
produce.
like caught in a
Yeah.
fire hose, like in
that
Jackass.
he can escape.
It's a stream of consciousness.
No.
It's
Jay.
milk of magnificent. I wonder if she's also a squirter. I guarantee she's a squirter as well.
yeah, probably, maybe.
Can't everyone be a squirter if they try hard enough?
There's a lot of theories on it. Alarmed police officers later arrived at the scene to find the woman resisting to provide her personal details, forcing police to pin her to the ground.
I wish she had some DNA out there that we could use too. Identify.
It's all over
her.
my face, Rich.
Identify her. Don't wash it off, David.
She was taken. It tastes so sweet. Have you had it? It tastes sweet. Lick my nose. She was taken to the police station and later released, but not before police initiated a criminal
release.
complaint for riding without a ticket.
That's what she got.
And
Riding
grievous
without a
bodily
ticket.
harm. Yeah, I know.
Riding without a ticket. So she didn't get nailed on the assault charge.
She don't have a ticket to ride, and she don't care.
She really does not.
Can I
have it.
tell you a breastfeeding story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
please.
course.
My wife and I, when my son was about a year old, we had not spent a night alone since he was born. And so my mother-in-law came out, and it was our anniversary, and she goes, I got you guys a room at the Ritz-Carlton in Marina Del Rey, which is
Beautiful.
1 mile from our house.
Right.
She goes, you're not going to spend any time driving, commuting. You're just going to go to a hotel.
What a
You're going to have
nice-
dinner at the restaurant.
What a nice
That's a
gift.
great
That's a
gift.
beautiful gift.
Lovely.
So we have a nice dinner. We take a walk on the beach. We
Beautiful.
go back to the room, and we make love, gentle, like you're in a swing. And at the end of it, we fall asleep in each other's arms. And I'm like, this is amazing. We're going to get up in the morning. We're going to do this all over again. Then we're going to have brunch, and we're going to go home.
It's a wonderful night.
3 a.m. I'm awoken by my wife's tears. She's crying. I'm like, what, do you
What
miss
happened?
Owen? What's going on?
Yeah.
She goes, no, my breasts are engorged and I forgot to bring the pump.
Oh, jeez.
And it hurts. It hurts a lot.
So you said, I'm just the man.
She said, we got to go home. I've got to pump or I've got to feed. I go,
Oh, feed me.
Feed me. I go, I'll handle it.
It's like Little
I
Shop
will
of
handle-
Horrors. Feed
I will
me.
fucking
I
handle
will.
it.
I will. If there's
Wait.
anything to
Wait, hold
solve
on.
this-
I need to know. Did you like
Did you latch
old
on easily?
Buick siphon it? Like suck
Well,
spit?
let me get to that. So I'm trying to latch. Latching was difficult.
Yeah,
it took
because
a
you got to
latch-
go over the
Gotta go
nipple. You got to
over.
squeeze from further in, and it's a go over and a suck.
Right. So she's instructing me. She's like, no, lower. No, and she's
By
pushing
the way,
breast
nothing
up. and-
sexier than your wife telling you you're doing something wrong. Like
At 3 in the morning.
at 3 a.m.
Through her tears.
So, and I try now to your question, I'm trying to suck and spit,
Okay, you're
but you
siphoning.
lose your suction.
Yeah.
It's like
Every-
siphoning. You
every
have to
time.
maintain the pressure.
Yeah.
So the gulping causes the next spritz, and it's at first nothing's coming out, and then all of a sudden there was like a hard stream of this sweet, thick
Milk.
liquid,
Yeah.
and I'm swallowing it, and I get one breast down,
One down,
one down.
one breast
One
down.
Go to
go.
the second breast.
One breast down
and it's
is
going really well. I'm getting excited.
it's the porn version of Black Hawk Down.
This is so
I
funny.
start rubbing against her. We begin making love.
While you're taking while you're taking
I'm
a
right. I
breath.
got my neck craned down.
Yeah.
No.
Luckily, my cock is
There.
it's good, and I'm making love. And by the end, I'm coming. She's coming. I got milk dribbling down my chin. It was the most raw. I
That's
was like,
intimate.
it couldn't be more raw. Every
Yeah.
feeling just raw. And then we passed out and we went home the next morning. I saw my son. He's trying to tap that thing. It's empty. I'm like, sorry, pal. Should have been at the Ritz last night.
By the way, this is exactly what was it your mom or who gave you this? Was it her mom?
Her mom.
It's exactly what she envisioned when she gave you a night.
And by the way, I had diarrhea for like 3 days after that.
And but you haven't been sick since. You have not been. You have not had a cold in 18
Greg
years.
Fitzsimmons never gets a cold.
That's how you do it. What? Is that our last story?
That's all it took.
And he's
Oh,
never
my
been
God.
sick. Please tell me you tell this story on stage. Dan.
No, I've told it on podcasts a couple times.
It's
I've
so
never told
good.
it on
You
stage.
gotta tell it on
I should.
stage. You believe
Yeah.
it is so good. Would
Yeah.
your wife let you tell that story?
She doesn't give a shit. Bring the check home.
Yeah.
That's
So,
all she cares about.
Dude, I want that on stage.
All
Such a
right,
good
I'm going to do it in
It's-
St. Louis.
Do it in St.
Yeah.
Louis. Well, you would have just done it. By the time this comes out, you would have
Yeah.
possibly seen him do that bit in St. Louis.
Do it, Cap City.
Do it, man. Yeah, go see Greg. By the time he gets to Cap City, which is next week, he will have run it through the mill this week in
So
St.
the
Louis.
story will be ready. It will have gone through.
You're gonna see it.
I'm
and
going to
you're
have somebody videotape it while I'm on stage and put it up. That's the new thing the kids are doing, right?
I know,
Put
yeah.
some stand-up up on the Instagrams.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Do it.
Why the hell not?
Greg Fitzsimmons, thank you for joining us on the show. You
Just
are
like that.
fantastic.
It's
Look at
over.
that.
How
Done.
fast
Just
is
like
that?
a breast relieved
Damn.
of its milk. We are
The
done.
breasts are down.
The breasts
For
are
those
down.
who thought this episode was a little racier than most,
Thank you, Greg
Sex
Fitzsimmons.
swing.
Fitzsimmons comes in and spices things up. This was fantastic. Go watch Greg. Go follow his podcast. Go follow him on the Instagram and the Twitter and everything. And then go see him live and go see us live. And oh shit, we can get back to work.
You guys are the best.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio.
A podcast network.